Welcome to A Rich Life Podcast with your host, Alicia Richard, the show where we enrich, encourage, and inspire women entrepreneurs to build a business that they love. Get inspired by other success stories and to finally get the courage to start a small business and also to learn to maintain your business. Are you ready to live a rich life? Welcome to A Rich Life Podcast with your host, Alicia Richard. Alicia Richard is an award-winning entrepreneur, full-time photographer, wife, and mom, and is ready to teach you the different tools and strategies to start your business.
Hello. I am Alicia Richard, and I would like to say thank you all so much for listening to A Rich Life Podcast. I hope that all of the previous episode has inspired you in some sort of way to just be the best person that you could be. This week's episode is sponsored by Eyeshadow Photography. So if you know of any entrepreneur that's getting married or are engaged, please let them know about Eyeshadow Photography. So let's just hop right into this week's content. Well, before I get into the content, I just want to let you all know about this episode before you proceed to listen. On this week, it was some things that really happened to me during my week, and I want to just share a little bit with you all. So it may be a little heavy, but what I want you all to be is just inspired and from everything that I am going to say today. So I hope that this helps someone and uplifts someone as you go on your journey through life. So let's just go ahead right on in. Actually, this week I lost my grandmother. She was 89 years old, and I know that's quite a long time. And she was just in a hospital room, and I was one of the only grandchildren that was actually in the room when she passed away. And she was surrounded by her family and her husband. And my grandma has been very, very fortunate to have been on this earth for 89 years. And as she passed away, there were 3 words that really, really stuck out to me as I watched her sitting on her bed as she transitioned from earth to heaven. So I just want to let you all know that I've listened to like Brendon Burchard, and he's like a self-help person or an inspirational person. And if you would like to look at his information, please do. But it was a book that I was reading from Brendon Burchard. And he said, he goes by this, and it's live, love, matter. And as I watched my grandmother, those were the 3 words that actually stood out in my head was live, love, and matter. And the way that Brendon describes it is, did you live your life? Did you love your life? Did you matter to others? And I'll go deeper into that just a little bit, but it was definitely challenging to be in the same room of someone that you cared about and loved, and to just see them, how they just transitioned. And my mom was there, and, a lot of my family was crying, and of course their hearts were so heavy. And during this time, I was so empathetic. And as we all just sat there and watched her, she was a very peaceful woman, a very humble woman. And the thing about it is, I wanted to know that she lived. And I know that she was 89 years old. And age is a number, yes. But I wanted to know, and I want to ask you this question. Are you living your best life? Are you doing every single thing that you want to do, that when you take your last breath on this earth and as you reflect on your life, I want you to ask the question, even right now as you are listening to my voice, did I live? And that means, did you travel to the places that you've always wanted to go? Did you do every single thing that you actually wanted to do? Were you able to be the person that you've always wanted to be? Were you able to just shine and just not worry about what others had to say or how others interpret you? Did you actually live here on earth? And that was one of the things that, as I sat and I watched and I observed the people around me, is, are you really living your life? And that was a question that came to me. And I want you to ask yourself that question. Am I living? If something were to happen to me today, if I were to leave the face of the earth, would I have any regret? And that's what I want you to do. I want this episode to be a wake-up call for you, and a wake-up call to you and all of your family members to ask yourself this question: did you live? The next thing that Brendan also talks about in his Live, Love, Matter series, I think it's pretty much in all of the books that you would read about him, he goes by these 3 words. And I would like to say that those 3 words stuck out to me as I was in that hospital room. So the next thing is, did you love? Did you love? Do you love the people that are around you? Do you love your job? Do you love your surroundings? Do you love what you are doing? Do you love your brothers, your sisters, or your family members? Are you greeting them with a smile? Are you humble? Are you shining even when things around you seem so dark? Do you love the earth that you live on? Do you love the body that you are in? Do you love, your hair? Do you love your skin? Do you love your body image? So what I want you to do is I want you to just set aside any obstacle that may be in your way and say, you know what? It is so important for me to love. It is so important for me to love everything around me and embrace everything around me. Because when I love and when I embrace, then that means that I will see life from a different perspective. So that's what I want you to do today. I want you to love. And if there's someone that you may be having a little eerie feelings about, just know that at the end of the day, it's going to come a time where you are literally going to sit over someone's body and just reminisce about what they've done, what your interactions with them were. And I want you to think about this. Did you truly love with all of your heart? The next one is matter. And matter to me comes from, did I serve? Did I give the world all that I could give while I am here? So live, love, matter. Matter means a lot to me because it's about, what did you do? I mean, seriously, what did you do? What are you doing here on earth? I know that you are listening to my podcast, but I really want you to do a self inventory on yourself and say, am I doing any community service? Am I showing love by greeting someone with a hug or a kiss or a smile? Am I making sure that my life is that it matters? Like, what will people say about you as you get older and as you mature and as you gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? How would people say that you are? Would they say, man, every time I saw her, she always had a smile on her face? Or every time I saw her, she always said some powerful words or some inspirational words. She was always, joyous and happy. And although I know that every day is not going to be happy and every day is not going to be great, because we all are going to experience some dark days. And I would always remember my mom said, well, if you've never had any trouble or if you never had any, hard times in your life, you just live long enough. The hard times will come just as the good times. So this is not a long episode, but what I want you all to do is to live, to love, and to matter. And whatever that looks like to you, whatever that definition is, at the end of your days, how are you going to look back on your life? What are you going to say that you've done? With me, literally, in the next few hours, y'all, I am going to bury my grandmother. Not to, try to sound any type of way, but literally I am. It's Saturday, and I said, I know what I promised the podcast. And even when times get hard, I still want to show up because to me, this podcast is a part of my legacy. One of the things that I did notice, and I'm kind of just talking now, that one of the things that my mom didn't have of her mother was her voice. My mom was like, well, I don't have anything that I could really listen to her voice. So I want you to think about that as the part of matter. How are you going to matter? I know with me in this podcast, honestly, God forbid, if something happened to me, like my family have over 50 episodes that they could come back to and just listen to my voice. So what are you leaving here? What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your life? And I know that this episode may be a little heavy, but I want to uplift you right now to say that if you haven't treated someone right in your life, make sure that you go back and just apologize. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that, you made that mistake. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you made someone feel great. If you, did not do everything on your bucket list, make sure that you write that bucket list out, because I know I sure am going to get a bucket list out of 111 things that I want to do before I leave this earth. And I hope and pray that I am able to accomplish every single thing on my bucket list. So create the list. And what I want you to do as you close out this episode and, go on to your day-to-day life, I want you to think about those 3 words: live, love, and matter. And I want you to have a new perspective on life. Don't just wake up and just be like, oh, I'm here. What am I going to do? No, let's actually plan some of this stuff out. So in closing, I would like to say that I want you all to give life your best. From this day forward, let's live life on purpose. Let's make sure we show up and not just show up any kind of way. Let's show up gracefully. Let's show up knowing and being intentional about our actions and about our goals and about our dreams and what we want to do and what we want to accomplish. So if anything, I want this episode to bear witness for you to know, girlfriend, you are awesome. And the things that you didn't do, let's make sure that you get them done. So I'll leave out like this, and I'll say live, love, and matter. And most of all, know that I love you, boo. Take care of your business, take care of your family, and take care of you. Enjoy your week and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.